Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. This is Coach Atami. In this episode, we are going to talk about philosophy of boxing, inside and outside of the ring. What is boxing? Most people might say boxing is just throwing punches. But after years of training, coaching and watching people developing, I've realized something. Boxing is not just about punching. It's thinking. It's controlling your emotion under pressure. It's about solving problems under pressure. It's about controlling your emotion even though everything around you to stay panic. Today I want to share something. I want to share what boxing taught me, not just as a sport, but as a way of life, as a sport, as a philosophy. Today I want to share something. I want to share what boxing taught me, not as a sport, but as a philosophy for life. First thing first, boxing teaches you to stay calm. The first lesson that boxing teaches is composure, means staying calm under pressure. Watch a beginner during his first sparring session. What would happen? First thing first, he might forget all those technique, all those basic fundamental, all those movement, breathing will be stopped, he will be panic, he might swing widely. So why? Because the fact is the panic is taking control. Now try to compare it with a pro boxer, with someone who has been doing boxing for quite a long time. They observe, they stay calm, they follow and observe all the technique, the footwork, the fundamental, everything is perfectly followed up, right? So the difference isn't about courage, it's about controlling the emotion. That's the key. So life works exactly the same way. Just imagine when the problems or challenges appear, like financial stress, like relationship, career change, most people panic. That's true, right? The people who stay calm, they usually make a great decision, make a better decision. In boxing, calm is a skill. Also in life as well. Having this skill, it's a great advantage to have. One of the biggest mistake that the beginners do is they punch to just hit. There is no purpose behind. But an experienced boxer, they don't think this way. Every jab has a purpose. Every feint, they're collecting information. Every step they change angle. Every combination, they have a reason. So nothing is random for an experienced boxer, let me say it this way. And the same principle applies in life. Every action should move you closer to your goal. So don't just stay calm, be intentional. Because purpose creates efficiency. People might say boxing is a physical sport, but I might say boxing is a thinking sport. See it differently. So before you land a punch, you have to predict, you have to read the opponent, you have to find all those patterns, all those repetition, what do they repeat, and then create different angle, different strategies. So a boxer, they don't just react, they predict, they read, they analyze. Actually, they make opponent to believe in one thing, but while they're preparing for something else. So this is what we call it a strategy. So basically, the body follows where the mind leads. I like this part. There is a saying that discipline beats talent. Talent, you can gain it probably in a day or 2 day practicing, but discipline, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be the winning point. To be honest, naturally, a lot of talented athletes, somehow they have just disappeared. They didn't show up anymore. But on the other way, a lot of disciplined average athlete, they keep improving day by day because they were consistent. They repeat one probably boring thing for quite long time. That's how they build this habit, or they build this discipline. That's why discipline is the key in life and in sport. That's why showing up every day. I know it's not quite fun every day. it might be somehow boring, but somehow someday you don't have the motivation, That's why discipline create greatness, create champions. To be honest, I like this quote. I don't know who did say this one, that boxing is an art of making a few mistakes. But you know, most people, they might think that boxing is just about knocking out someone, but actually it's not like that. What I mean by that, the great boxing is just about making less mistake, because every mistake that you make, you're gonna give an opponent, you're gonna give an angle, you're gonna give your opponent a confidence to get in. So every mistake want to put you in a dangerous situation. So the best is to avoid making mistake, to not get hit, to not get punched, to not get knocked out. The fact is, so in boxing you have to be smart, you have to play smart, you have to not let your emotion leading you. You have to control your emotion, because this is your mind, this is your brain, have to control the emotion. Once you're out of emotion, you're making mistake. Every mistake need to pay off. So have to be careful when it comes to boxing. So less mistake gonna lead you to a great advantage, to be more dominant in the ring. The first rule of boxing is to not get hit. So don't play offensive. You have to be able to defend yourself. So if forget about offense first. If there is no defense, offense will no exist. So first thing first, the simple truth in boxing is to not get hit first. That's the best skill you can you can work on as a boxer. So first, make sure to not get hit before you're throwing any punch. You should be able to learn all those fundamental and play smart to not get hit first. That's actually the art, the beauty of boxing, to not get hit first. And exactly, life works the same way. You gotta protect yourself, you gotta protect your time, you gotta protect your health, you have to protect the peace of your mind that you have. And that's how life gonna work, and that's how it's gonna lead you to be successful in your life. So to conclude everything, the more I study boxing, I understand and I learn that boxing is not about fighting another person. It's fighting your fear, your ego, your impatience, all of your excuses. And the opponent in front of you is just temporary, but the opponent inside you is forever. It forever remain with you. You gotta live with that. So that's why boxing is the greatest teacher for me, or for everybody who study boxing or who practice boxing. It's not just about throwing punches or just throwing jab. It's about a way of thinking. That's why boxing is the greatest teacher I ever had. It taught me how to think smart, how to not react emotionally, under pressure, in different situation. So we understand that boxing it's not just about throwing punch, or it's about improving the way you think, the way you react upon something. All of those challenges that happen to you in your life, it can make you humble, it can make you a better person, it can improve your personality, and of course the ego will go aside. And ultimately it's a way to live, or it can be part of your lifestyle. So those lifestyle is building your character, it's building who you are, who you want to be. So again, I hope you have learned something. I hope you have a better understanding about boxing now. And if you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like and share it with those who love boxing. In the next episode, I'm going to talk probably about misunderstanding of some technique, or about the philosophy of jab. Alright everybody, thank you, have a great time. Cheers.